Guys, welcome to another show. Today we've got Jesse Holm on the show. Now he's going to share with us how you can create genuine conversation in real estate. Now, how can we do that, Jesse? Like, what do you do? How you going? I should say, how you
Hey,
going?
how you going? Good. Good, Nathan, yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, it's a busy day, but I'm glad to be on the call with you so I can learn a bit more about this.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, the way I sort of go about it is, prospective vendors get millions of calls each day, each week, each month, each year, right? They want something that's different. They don't want to be pushed. So the way I go about it, I simply call to introduce. I introduce myself as a local sales agent for the area that I'm calling. So I'm predominantly farming in Belmere. And really just introduce myself as a local agent, wanting to help them out. If they're ever curious about selling, wondering what the price for their house is, I really just want to generate that connection, keep them updated, and just really create that connection that I find is lacking in real estate. Because I've spoken to so many agents and the
Mm,
connection is not there. But
yeah.
yeah, I just love being genuine.
Yeah, 100%. And if you're not genuine, like you're not going to go very far in real estate, let alone in any sort of business. It's a it's a learned skill, and when I do it, I find I've got to pace myself and have breaks if I'm if I'm calling a list of people. Do you find that?
Okay, so one thing I've like recently started really smashing out with my principal. So I work directly with Adam Sini, who's actually the principal of Movement Realty.
Yeah.
And what we've sort of nutted out for me to do my day to day is to make around 100 calls. The way I do that is we've started doing hour blocks. So whether that be white page calls, whether that be I have a flyer person that drops off in Belmere, I find a way to do street calls. I call, introduce, and that's it. If they're not interested, I just say, hey, would you like a market update? Love to keep you posted on how the market's going. Otherwise, feel free to follow me at Jesse Home at Movement Realty on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, I love it. So smooth. It's really good. Yeah. 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 So, can you share a bit about your background and what led you to real estate? So winding it back a little bit.
100%. So basically, I started off like anyone when then they're 14 to 18, started in Macca's. That's when my customer service kicked in, right? 4.5
Yeah.
years there, loved it as much as it sounds, right? All
Yeah,
right,
because
so then
the
I had
customer
it.
service guys, the customer service guys at McDonald's are often the girls. So you must have been really good, you know? It's a common
Fully
thing.
cross-trained, full
Yeah.
front area, back area. I was on fries for no joke a whole year. I still persisted and I was like, I'm gonna be the Fry King. And what did I get that
Yeah.
year? I got the Fry King. So I stuck to it. It's a stupid
Oh
title, but
man.
now step back and think about it. How honestly cool was that? I then jumped into, I
I
really
love
love
it.
the automotive industry. So then
Yeah.
I jumped into being a parts interpreter. So
Yeah.
basically, I worked with Mercedes and full customers like workshops and all that called up saying, hey, my car's a bit broken. This is what's wrong with it. I'd interpret what part they need, find the part number, and distribute it to them. And then I,
Yeah.
I had to go working after Mercedes. I was like, all right, what's the next step? So I went to Petters Automotive and
Yep.
then had
Suspension.
a really close, yeah. And then I had a really close connection with Eagers Automotive in Pinkenba. So
Yep.
I worked directly with the parts manager there. He was really nice. Honestly, the best work environment I've ever had, apart from being in real estate now. I was just treated so fairly. I founded that, yeah, there was a ceiling. I was about to hit it, or I was going to hit it too soon. Hence the change. I love talking to people over the phone, over text, email. I can always follow up with what I say I'm going to do. So, say if I say I'm going to send you a market update this week, I will send it to you that afternoon, or I'll send it to you this week. If I need to do a little bit more comparative research on realestate.com, instead of just banging you through a report, which I'm not happy with, I'm not going to do that because I want to help you. I want to service you. I don't want to rush you or feel like you're being pushed.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, I've heard Tom Panis talking about commission breath a few times, and yeah, I think being genuine, seeing people where they're at and see if they want your help, and then coming in and giving them that. It's just a matter of time, and you get more you get more job satisfaction, and probably more sales if you're being genuine, and that's not that can't be a short term game. That's a long term game, right?
Very, very long term. So there's leads that I honestly thought would convert to nothing. So I'm very on top of my leads. Anytime I speak
Yeah.
to someone, I categorize them in cold, warm, or hot. Hot, they're
Mm.
saying I'm definitely considering selling, whether it be they get me, myself and my principal out to appraise the property, or if they're just getting a market update, they're going into that warm or hot column. If they're just saying, I'd love to be updated. Keep me updated. I'll keep you in my list to send you a market update every 3 to 6 months. I'll also make a follow up call with you after public holidays or say Easter, Christmas. I might even like if I build that relationship with you, I may even say happy birthday if we get to that stage. Honestly, I love creating the connection as anywhere and everywhere I can, and just being a little bit different to others around.
Yeah, yeah. Well, different. Yeah, different's definitely a good start, especially like it- yeah like you can form your own niche, but who who introduced you to property? When did that spark come?
Awesome. So I have a really good friend, Corey.
Mm,
He works at Elders in
mm.
Redlands. So he's my mates.
Nice.
Honestly, I've known him
Yeah.
for
What's
years
his name? What's his
in
full
the
name?
Corey Rex,
Corley
and he
Rex.
works
Oh, nice. Shout out to
and
Corey.
Elders Redland Bay. Like you need help property wise, buying, renting, hit them up. Like honestly, some of the best blokes you'll ever meet. And he introduced me to real estate. I started doing my real estate license last year, and honestly, it's a long haul. Like you gotta be bloody determined to get it done. Yes, people will be like, "Oh, I did it over a week." Yes, but in all actual facts, I'll let you know, it took me 7 months to fully finish it, just because I
Yeah.
did it through, yeah, a company that you shouldn't be doing it through, REAA, also known by
Yeah.
Coronis. But if you look at getting it done through REIQ, which is the proper way of doing it. Basically, you get a little bit more help and you can do part of it in person, which I probably would have strived better because I work better with people. I'd be I could be very independent myself, but I love working with people, part of a team. That's why Movement Realty, family owned company, Adam Sini, ground up, and now we've got 3 offices.
Yeah, nice. So which office do you work in? Is it
Oh,
just so
yep.
people
So
know?
it's the Caboolture South office in Moorfield Road, Caboolture South, right next to the Domino's in Caboolture.
Yeah, nice. And which areas do you help people sell their property in?
Yep. So Movement Realty as a whole is all of
Yeah.
Moreton Bay. So be it Strathpine, Blorton, North Lakes, Kalanga, like Narangba, Burpengary, Belmere, Moorfield, and also Beachmere. We have a Bribie office and we have a North Lakes office. And then we also have Culture. So that makes the three. We deal all the way up to Glasshouse Mountains, Landsborough. That would be the peak, but we have
Yeah.
an agent that specializes up there.
Yeah, well that's what I was gonna say. Like, do you cover which areas do you specialize in? Because people want to know about you.
So, percent, I'm trying to specialize in the Belmere area, really trying to help the Belmere community. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's so it's so
Modesty.
niche.
You're trying.
So I'm really trying to become a local agent in Belmere, trying to help them out
Yeah.
and trying to talk to local businesses, help get their name out. Like even today, for instance, I stumbled across someone that does car wash and he started a new business, started that
Yeah.
connection. I met with him today and look, I want to sort of refer anything and everything, help people. Like I'm not
Yep.
scared of anything really. Honestly,
Yeah.
change, yes, it's scary. Like being a real estate agent, yes, it's scary. There's no
Yeah.
guarantee you're going to get listings and then sales. You get a listing, you might not sell it, and it's a long game, but it's very rewarding.
100%.
It's honestly some of the best fun work that, yes, you got to put in the hard yards, but it's honestly so rewarding.
So on that, what are some of the significant challenges that you've faced? Like you're fairly early in your career, but you talking to you over the last few weeks, you definitely know what you're doing. You definitely know the referral game is a long game. But what are some significant challenges that you've ever faced early on that that might help others that are listening? They might, yeah,
100%. When I first jumped into real estate, had a chat with Adam Sini, the principal of Movement Realty. Literally had a coffee with him, and then a month
yeah,
later, I was starting in real estate as his associate. I didn't have my real estate license at the time, so it was pretty
yeah,
limited what I could and couldn't do. And then I ended up
yeah,
getting it. A couple of weeks later, it came in the mail. Awesome. So
yeah,
one of the
nice.
biggest challenges was the fear of rejection from doing cold calls. Honestly, it's the most terrifying thing that you can do in real estate, cold calling and door knocking. Pick one. I wouldn't suggest doing both. Honestly, if you can, awesome, all power to you. But if you get into the cold call game, don't be afraid that if you get told to, in quote, F off, don't let it affect you. Don't let it simmer. Don't let it settle. What you
Mhm.
can do is if they're still on the phone after they say that, just say, "Not a problem, mate. I won't give you a call again. I wish you all the best." I've done this a few times and converted people to be like, "Oh, well, actually, I would like to know how the market's going." The way you handled that was like quite good, and I'm like, "Oh, well, it doesn't really affect me." Like you say that you're a keyword, you're a verbal warrior instead of a keyboard warrior. So
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a great tip, and um, I think some people like to throw a spanner in the works, especially if they hear you're a real estate agent, because they do get a lot of letters, a lot of calls. But if you can show, it's a bit like some girlfriends, they like to test you sometimes,
yeah,
and see if you blow up. And it's part of it's part of people's instinct. They just want to know that you're not a dickhead when shit hits the fan. When things don't go right, right? So you have your head on and still take care of people. I think that's really yeah, that's such a good tip. Uh, what what are some things you tell buyers in the Caboolture area that are looking to buy property right now? Is there anything that comes to mind? Like I like to leave these questions pretty open ended, so you because it's all about telling a good story, Jesse. So
100%. So what I tell buyers is the number one thing, are you pre-approved?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, if I think people really respect it when like you're really good at, finding those listings, doing the work some other people might want to do, finding those listings and getting people a good price for their property. And focusing on that and staying in your lane, I think it really shows that you're not going out there just to try to make as much money as possible. You're there to show value to people and help them in their situation, and then they're going to come back to you because it's all about relationships. And I think yeah, I really, yeah, Really glad you said that, you know. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's it, and it's, like, if people only sell, like, 2 or 3 homes in their lives, you know, a real estate agent can really, you know, you can really match that up. You can really help them. Like, if they're approaching you and you see a few coming up in a few months, you might be able to match them up. And as far as, someone's life goes, yeah, you can really create huge opportunity for people, because no one's siphoning through, you know, the offline and the online data that like the way that you guys do. I think that's, yeah, well, you got a yeah, incredible amount of patience and, you know, to do that and make that happen and see that happening, and yeah, so yeah, it's really cool. Do what are some of the misconceptions you think that they have? What are some misconceptions that you've come up across with, you know, you're talking to new buyers or new sellers, you know, do they like in it might be, you know, might be area related, you know? Yep. You're right. Yep. Yeah. Well, it can be a buyer or seller, but basically it's just a story. Yeah, like if you had, you know, you might have had in the last week or so. I know June is typically like for some areas it can be a quiet month. You know, it might have happened, you know, since you started. Just a, you know, just a story about, um you know, a buyer or seller that's come to you, and they're not quite hitting the market. They're not quite what they want. Isn't realistic, or isn't, you know, really, yeah, yeah.
Had a good amount of success. Adam Sini and the team at Movement Realty, we've had a great amount of success actually in selling properties off market. So this is allowing buyers extra
That's cool.
time and exclusive opportunity. So what we do is with new vendors, we offer them a plan A. So this is called an
Mm,
off-market approach. What we'll do is we'll introduce it to our database. We'll talk to our buyers agents that we work really closely with. We help them, they
mm.
help us. And then we'll also send it to our vast database of investors as well, along
Yeah,
with
that's cool.
creating a social media campaign for the property. As it coming soon? For instance, my property for sale in Belmere is yeah, it's on a 1635 square meter block. It's quite
Mhm,
unique. It's a 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 3 car accommodation with side access, a shed, no pool, but it does have solar and it's got a beautiful
mm,
yard with irrigation. So I took the tendency to do a coming soon, which
mm.
shot off. Yes, I boosted the property. Yes, I used my money to do that. But in doing that, not only am I exposing like creating exposure for the property, I'm also creating awareness that there is interest in Belmere. Like people are considering Belmere more and more now than they used to. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah,
think 4510.
yeah, it's definitely the nicer, like, around, you know, Caboolture, Murrayfield area up North Brisbane there. It's a very nice area, and it seems to have, like, larger blocks,
Yeah.
and people take care of their properties. So are you saying that with that? Are you saying with the option A that people don't often realize that they'll have a chance of selling their property before spending a lot of money on marketing? Is that what you're getting at?
Yes, so we do an off-market approach. We'll fully, I guess, run off-market, test the waters per se. Off-market
Mm,
campaign, introducing it to our database and everything. We'll run it
yeah,
on
yeah,
social media. We'll run that for maybe a couple of weeks, if that. We'll sort
yeah,
of see how the inquiries have been. We'll let the vendor know whenever there's an inquiry, what level of heat the inquiry is, what their sort of budget is aligned at, or if they're actually looking at submitting an offer or viewing the property, which we've seen a lot of vendors like a private inspection only rather than open homes. Like, because we know the big stimulus on Saturday open homes, it's huge. Yes, yes, I understand that. But honestly, I've
yeah,
taken multiple people through private inspections, and honestly, I was able to connect with them so much better. I was able to show them the property way more in depth than I would be able to, let's say, 10, 15 people at an open home. Yes, we can still collect all the data from the open home, but don't be scared of doing just private inspections to start off with. It's definitely the way to go, I'd say. Unless it's unless you're really wanting to do open homes, give it a go, but then do privates.
yeah, yeah. I know. Like as a buyer's agent myself, ha- when I do a private inspection, like getting to know the agent, I have found other properties by talking to the agent and getting that trust there.
Mm,
Whereas, like for some reason, I've been to a lot of busy open homes in Sunnybank for some and we do all over Brisbane. And yeah, and when I say it's like Caboolture to Ipswich basically, and you just don't get to know you don't get to meet the agent, that sort of thing. Yeah, so I was sort of surprised, once you're there with an agent, a selling agent at an
mm,
inspection, what the sort of information you can get out of them about this
yeah.
property and properties coming up and the market, and really get to know your agents. And I think for those people that want to get a good deal, it's
Mm,
relationships with agents like Jesse. It's the like that's what it's going to come down to in a lot of cases. Um, Especially if you've only got a few days a week, a couple of days, or just Saturday, like let's say,
mm.
Saturday and another day in the week. Like that's a great place to start. So yeah, do you have any other stories you'd like to share with us about don't go into names and things like that of
No, no,
people
no.
that you've helped sell properties, but
Mm,
and don't give away too much of your IP, your intellectual property about how you get deals done. But like, what do you? Yeah, is there any other stories or success stories that you'd like to share? Like with people approaching you, and you know, those fun ones that might linger in your mind a little bit.
yeah. So the running joke that Uh, none of my mates thought I could do this. So honestly, I had
Love it.
so many people saying, "No, you're stupid. You're getting into an industry where there's no security whatsoever." And I'm like, "Yeah, cool, awesome. I love being uncomfortable." So I've been a person before where I was okay being comfortable. This was at Mercedes, and then I was like, "Nah, what's next? What's next? What's next? What's next?" I always
Yeah.
need building blocks. I'm always trying to better myself. So basically, I told my mates, "No, I'm gonna do this. You're not gonna stop me." And honestly, you'll see me reap the rewards later. It might take some time. Yes, 100%. It's all going to come down to nurturing. It's all going to come down to how I treat the clients, potential clients, how I market myself on. That's why I'm so big on socials. That's why I'm trying to be so big on socials. I'm trying to become a name that people think about at the dinner table. It's like, yes, this guy's new, but honestly, we should give him a shot. Um,
Mm,
don't be scared of that because I'll let you know right where your house is worth. I'll get you the best price possible for your house as well, above
mm,
market value, and we'll test the waters first. We won't have to go on market at all. We test the waters off market, and that's the way we've been able to sell properties literally within a day. I assisted with that one. I just kept calling and calling and calling, got the deal done. And yeah.
Yeah, love it. That's really great. So you've gone from you've gone from having a little bit of doubt, not being confident, to being able
Mm,
to getting in there, getting into a good office, and just being consistent, listening to your mentors and your boss, and just
mm,
getting people getting deals happening. And now you're seeing the power of social media. You're seeing
yes.
the benefits of the areas you live in, that sort of thing,
Yep.
the areas you're servicing, and that sort of thing, and you're getting people results, and that's great. This is this is the stuff that I love. Like, if you have those stories of people, they want to sell their house, but they don't want to spend three
Mm.
grand on marketing, but you're able to get
No,
them
they don't.
a great, a, yeah, a great result. And I think that when you say you want to be different, that's got to be different. That's got to be different than a lot of the other
Mm.
agencies around there, right?
Well, another thing we do, so yes, we do
Mm.
the off-market approach, being plan A.
Yeah,
But our plan B
yeah,
is to go on market. But honestly, if
yeah,
you're not comfortable paying that marketing up front, we
yeah,
have an awesome system called Campaign Agent. Shout out to them. Honestly, it's a they pay for your marketing up front. You pay
yeah,
a 6.9% interest fee at the very end of settlement. So honestly, you're not paying that much extra. You're getting your property online, and you're also getting that much exposure after testing the waters. I 100% recommend that because look, if you can sell your property off market, think about how much you can save. Think about how much more you can actually get for your property because there's that much more competition. People are like, "Oh, I've got
yeah,
this coming soon property. Beautiful. Show me through. I really want to see it." People like competition. Off market creates competition in ways that you don't believe.
yeah. Well, people, it's like the old marketing thing. Like, one of the biggest words in especially when there was newspapers, and I've even when I've run Facebook
Mm,
ads, this is true too. When you say new or coming, or just on the market, that sort of stuff, or just hit the market, people want the new stuff. In some cases, people look at it as a distraction, but it gets to take people's attention because it's
mm.
something that's different, that could change their life, that could be an opportunity, and they want to get onto it quick. So it's just it's people's curiosity. And it's not it's always nicer to deal with people that are curious rather than people that are grumpy, or, or jaded, I guess, too.
Mm,
But
very
yeah.
true.
So yeah, I really think that approach is really cool, and it really opens up the door for more people to move where they want to go, like to move houses, and move on to the next properties. Where can people find you, Jesse?
Yep. So,
Oh,
says so you can search on Facebook, Jesse Jess in my back. You can find me at yeah on Facebook, Jesse Home. So Jesse Home HOLM at movement the word and then realty. On Instagram, you can find me Jesse at Movement Realty. And also on TikTok, if you guys are on TikTok at all, I
mhm,
do post some pretty funny reels from time to time as well. Jesse Home at Movement Realty.
you do. Yeah, nice. Yeah, well, that's great. That's all we need to know, because I've had a look at your social media, and you're definitely putting a lot of effort into it. So if you want to know a bit more about Jesse, definitely check out his social media. Hey, Jesse, thanks for being on the show today. My pleasure.